Today, this is for people who do not know how to backflip. We should start out the video by doing a couple shout outs, I would say. So, we had so many people respond on this last one, so I only picked a couple. From Bridget. In 7th grade, we were playing dodgeball, and my PE coach was playing so that both sides would be even. He threw the ball and it hit me in the face, and it broke my glasses. If you're playing dodgeball, you're gonna get slapped in the face. Okay, so we got another one from somebody named TFIL Corbin. I've been seeing this channel up and coming. When I was 10, my cousin and I were playing tag. He ran outside and someone closed the sliding door behind him. I ran straight into it and it popped out. My dad literally walked right into the sliding door that we have in the back, and his face mark is literally on that door right now. Also, one of the things I want to tell you guys is what helps me whenever I do a backflip. So all this stuff is just kind of tips for when I struggle with them, and now I've gotten pretty good at them. Remember, a backflip is a very specific movement and it is dangerous. The first thing I would say for backflip, it usually does require like some particular movements that you need to know. So there's certain progressions that I would say that actually really help. Basic stuff. Do a forward roll, do a PK roll, or a backwards gymnastics roll. It's a very particular movement. It's not something you're gonna be comfortable with unless you've done it a couple times. It's about mental commitment and getting over that mental barrier. A lot of people ask me what's easier, a backflip or a front flip. It's a tough question. Because front flips, you could just jump and you could go right onto your back. You could literally just pop there and just stand there like a starfish. For a backflip, you have to go over your head before you can spot the ground. It is kind of sketchy, and also if you're at a gym, make sure there's nobody behind you. The first thing that's probably most important is the jump. The main thing that I would work on right at first is squatting. You want to keep your feet out, probably like shoulder width apart. You want to get your hips very low down and you want to come back up. Really work on that squat. Anybody who gets really high backflips, it's all leg power. You want to think of a real jump when a basketball player hits a dunk. You want to have your hands come back behind you, and you need to get your hands all the way up to the top. And a lot of people stop about right here. Think about your arms being locked out, so you want to actually extend. Circular motion really helps. Circles. Your hands are a huge part of jumping just entirely. The reason why that basketball jump or having your hands right on top of you is so important is because that's what we call a set. When you get to the crux, you get to the highest part that you could be at, and then you want to be able to flip. But what everybody does is they just go whoop, and they hit their back and they just go straight over the top. That's all rotation, that is not height. So the first thing that I would do is I would use a block, especially if you have like a gymnastics gym. Usually they have open gyms in different places. A lot of the time you want to put the block like up to your back, probably about like right here, okay? And you want to jump up to your back. One of the biggest things that anybody told me with a backflip is you have 2 bananas in your ears. When you do that jump and you get to this, you need to take the bananas out of your ears with your shoulders. Check it right here. Take those bananas out of your ears. That is the only way that you will actually get your hands fully extended, your arms fully extended. First time, I would probably say to just land on your butt just to make sure that it's there. Just remember you're plopping onto something that's soft, so you're fine. And then you want to get to the point where you're actually getting your knees over it. And after you're landing on your back, your shin should be on top of you. It should be like right about here. And just doing that backflip and grabbing, that doesn't get you rotation. A lot of what creates the backflip is that hip movement and your shins. If you go get that toe drive, shin drive, you are not gonna do a backflip. Doing a tuck doesn't get a backflip. Getting up there and then using your shins as the drive is what gets you around. Where I would start trying your first backflip is probably the foam pit. The foam pit is one of the best places to be because you won't hit anything around you. I like to have my heels off. When you're gonna hit this backflip, you're gonna try to do the same thing, everything that you just did on that block. Try to get those hands up and try to get your chest back. It's a lot more about getting backward. All your parents tell you whenever you're on a diving board, jump out. Because so many people hit the diving board, right? On this backflip, make sure that you're going outward and land just straight on your back. All right, you're in a foam pit, you're fine. So try to get that set, boom, all the way up and then land on your back. Get comfortable with that because that shows where you are in the foam pit. Second, you are actually going to try to commit to a backflip. But here's the thing, that mental fear gets everybody. So what a lot of people will do is they'll look over their side, they'll go, oh, that actually throws off your rotation. You're looking this way, your body's going to turn this way. So unfortunately, this one you're gonna have to really commit to. Majority of the time, you're gonna be fine. If you land on your head, you will be fine in the foam pit. Later on, if you land on your head, we'll talk about that later. The most important thing about a backflip, the spot. After you rotate over your head, it's more about spotting the ground. That's where you're actually gonna get the absorption. You're halfway through, you're looking, whenever you get into what you call a washing machine, or what I call a washing machine, is when I spot in a weird place. So if I'm doing a backflip and I spot this wall, I don't know where I'm gonna be at all. You need a spot where you're going to land. I would say try to do at least like 10 tries of that into the foam pit. You can put a mat down and you can make it almost like ground level. But now, the next progression is to do it off of a block. So I put a block down, I put it on its side, and then I put a mat down on the floor. On a mat, you're probably not gonna knock the wind out of yourself, but there are a lot of ways to fall on a backflip that you will be okay. And you can land on your hands and knees, okay? Just getting comfortable with the crashing really helps you on not just backflips, but every other movement. You need to be able to crash in order to actually learn something new. So you are on solid ground now. Even being on a mat can be a little bit more fearful as people start to spot to their side. That is how I learned my backflip, and it is horrible. Do not do that. Tell yourself right now, I will spot over my head, in line with my spine right here. Try to record yourself, because that's the only way that you know if you're getting your head in the right place. Try to get your chest up, boom, get that set, spot on the ground, and then come back down. When you see people who could really do a backflip versus people who say they can do a backflip, they might even be able to, but you will always see them jump and just look straight at the ground. You don't have the best height when you do that. I usually spot a wall or a spot in front of me, and you want to keep your head facing forward. And then as soon as I get my shins up and over, that's when I actually look back. Because a lot of the times, if you don't get the height and you just get the rotation, you will land right on your hands and knees. This doesn't have to happen first day, okay? Just try to get comfortable with it and then take it over gradually to the floor. After you've already done it to a block, you could go to a panel mat, which would be the same height as the mat. That's ground level. Remember that when you're getting close to the ground, it's more about height than it is about rotation. The reason why you're safer when you jump off a block or something a little bit higher is because you have time to get to the ground. So that rotation doesn't have to be super fast. But when you are at ground level, now it becomes about height. Focus on those bananas out of your ears. Bananas out of your ears. Take out the big mat that you were just using to land on and just do it straight to floor. Stay on the panel mat so you have a little bit of height. It does help to land on the floor before you actually go straight to ground. And really make sure that you land softly. Try to land with absorption, because if you don't absorb, that's where you smack. After you do that, take away the panel mat and you will be doing it on ground. If you can take it to ground, that's really a huge step in showing that you can trust yourself with even failing. Because failing is a big part of parkour, free running, gymnastics, anything. Failing is a huge part of that. So the fact that you can keep trying it, that's a real huge step. How many fail videos have you seen of somebody just landing straight on their head? The reason why they land on their neck is because they don't commit to the backflip. Whenever you get halfway through a backflip and go, oh, I'm scared, and you do not commit to the rotation, that is the worst thing you can do. Everything is already halfway through a backflip, but your mind's not. So that's when you land on your head. That's where you like go, oh, just like that, okay? So if you don't want to land on your head, commit every time. Now look at you. You have a backflip on ground, the to-do list. First, use progressions. I would say try to start doing rolls, back rolls, backwards gymnastics rolls, different stuff like that. That really helps. Second, jumping, the squat. Really make sure your squat is on point. Maybe videotape yourself. That really helps. The height, the set. Really try to make sure you get what out of your ears. The freaking bananas. Fourth is rotation. How do you rotate? Using your shins. Really try to focus on getting your shins up. That is the way that you get your body to do a backflip. Fifth, the spot, because spotting the ground is how you land safely. Sixth is to absorb. I've seen so many people slap and they hit the ground just like that. That is not what you want to do. Really try to make it so that you're a ninja and you're landing straight down. Absorb that whole impact. That is the way that you keep your bones strong. Follow those 6 steps, then you should have a very nice backflip. So I've seen people learn this in a year. I've seen people learn this in a day. The only thing that helps is experience. And remember that sometimes you get tired. Don't be crazy and think that you do the same thing over and over and over and over and it's gonna get better. It's not. Focus on a change that you can make and make it happen. Challenge. Next challenge, I really want to see if this actually helped anybody. So the challenge now is if you just learned a backflip, please send me a video or send me a picture. If you do that, then you will get a shout out on the next video. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think I should try to help you with next. And sometimes somebody says something that's just completely off the wall and it really helps with what you think, or it really helps with your movement. I hope I can see you do a backflip in a day. Later, skaters. Boom.